Thank you. I'm Konstantinos Kanistras. As you've heard from the introduction, I'm currently head of Insights and Decision Science in Advanced Analytics and AI team of PwC Greece. And I feel really privileged that I have the chance to represent PwC in this great event, in this AI Summit. So, before moving to the agenda, as a consulting firm with a global presence, staying at the heart of business is in our DNA. So, what we're trying to achieve is that being at a very unique point where we witness firsthand what's the dynamic pulse of industries, what's the complexity of a global market, and what's the challenges that our clients face in their day-to-day operations, we try to find a way to support them. So we live in a global environment that is super competitive, and all companies are stuck in a long-lasting, non-ending transformative journey. So how we can support those clients to achieve their goals through AI adoption. The key question that we receive regularly is how we can gain, how we can benefit from AI technology. So it's a tough question. We try to, throughout this presentation, to cover some aspects of conversational AI that we will try to explore together. From business perspective, we try to understand conversational AI potential and position within the market, and also we are going to see some indicative use cases. In terms of agenda, we're going to start with a small introduction and some key historical facts from conversational AI development. We're going to shape somehow the current business landscape and where we position conversational AI in this business landscape. And we will move to specific key elements, some specific components of conversational AI, and the main success factors that, from business perspective, any company should follow in order to achieve the best of their potential from their development in this area. And finally, as said before, we will cover some indicative, active, live use cases and potential future implementation that we may see in the coming years based on current future trends and technology advancement. So, let's give a small definition of what is a conversational AI. Of course, is a technology that tries to replicate, to mimic somehow the human interaction conversation through natural language. Is it a new technology? Absolutely not. If we want to some kind of trace the initial efforts, development efforts in this area, we need to go back in the early stage of the previous century. I have put in this timeline some key points that I would like to cover. First of all, it was back in 1952 that Bell Lab introduced to the world a system called Andre that had the capability to understand 10 digits from one single user with a high accuracy. Then, about 10 years later, it was IBM that demonstrated shoebox that could understand 16 words. And I think a critical point in this journey was the Mellon University implementation that they introduced in 1972 called Harpy. This system could understand more than 1,000 words. And the unique thing about this is that the amount of words is approximately the vocabulary of a 3-year-old child. But another aspect of that program is that it was not limited to understand just single words, but it could even recognize whole sentences. Moving in a more recent era, definitely the first widely used and adopted conversational AI application was Siri that was developed from Apple and launched in 2011. And in the following years, almost all tech giant companies have developed similar products. Besides the fact that all those implementations were really fascinating and revolutionary at this time, they face some kind of limitation. They could not handle effectively complex and large queries. But in nowadays, we can see that conversational AI has reached to a maturity level where we spot sophisticated virtual agents that can handle complex queries in a very effective way, but also can go one step ahead. They can provide sentiment from that discussion. They can understand the context of the discussion or even generate a summary of the whole discussion. Everyone talks about AI. If you talk to a company, they say that they have something in mind. They are working on an AI initiative. It can be either in the proof of concept phase. It can be an active and real working in production use case. It can be an AI-enabled process. But we have seen that only a few companies receive a significant return on investment in their development cycle. So we try to identify what's the differentiator in those companies. So the key fact is that they don't put their AI adoption efforts aside from their business. They put it in the center of their business. They try to follow a holistic approach in their AI adoption strategy, combining business strategy, systems modernization, and how they can enhance decision-making. So this is a critical fact to put everything that we want to achieve in the center of our business and not, let's say, have it as a regular side business. What's the usage of conversational AI? Of course, the pandemic period was very challenging for the whole humanity, but for the conversational AI, it was a period for a great opportunity for conversational AI to rise. We have seen that interactions through conversational AI programs have been higher for more than 2.5 times compared to the previous period. And it's easy to understand given that during pandemic, physical interaction and in-person discussion were limited, if not prohibited. But imagine the potential of that number and the growth that we can expect in the following years, given that from an industry leaders report, more than 3 up to 4 companies have some kind of digital assets in place. But only 10% of those are fully scaled and move into production. So as soon as those digital assets will mature during the following years, we expect a high growth in terms of usage of conversational AI and in general AI systems. The market value for that drops under conversational AI for 2020 is more than $8 billion. And it is expected to follow an average annual growth of more than 20% for the next decade. And it is projected to reach a market value of about $60 billion in 10 years from now. Of course, the main drivers in this growth is definitely the retail and the e-commerce industry. And in terms of deployment, we have seen that the majority of application implementation were developed on-prem, and this is the same way that we expect the next years to follow. So every implementation will be on-prem as projected for the next 10 years, mostly 60% about on-prem and only 40% in cloud environment. What are the benefits? Why do I have to invest in AI adoption in conversational AI? I try to put some key benefits in 4 major areas: efficiency, cost savings, scalability, and customer experience. Imagine that at this time there are many companies that provide customer support and they are not able to provide that on a 24/7 operation mode. They have people working on regular repetitive tasks that could be definitely automated. They cannot manage demand due to seasonality or, let's say, unexpected circumstances, which provide frustration, generates frustrations to their clients. So many of those elements can definitely be handled through AI and conversational AI elements. In terms of components, I think that during the AI Summit, most of those cases are definitely covered. Of course, we're talking about machine learning, natural language processing and generation. We're talking about integration with different data sources, etc. I don't want to waste time here. But what are the key success factors from business perspective to achieve your potential through your development cycle? You need to focus on 4 main areas. First of all, you need to create a user interface that creates a positive environment and replicate some kind of a real human interaction. Then you have to establish somehow a rich knowledge base. We propose to avoid moving ahead without having established a rich knowledge base that can provide efficiency and generate value for you and your clients as well. And this is where we can incorporate feedback loop, where we can generate value for our system in order to auto-improve, or we can improve it from every interaction that we have and the feedback that we receive from our clients and their interaction. And of course, needless to say, that one of the key elements is the performance and scalability. We need to be ready to handle a great amount of data, increasing amount of users without any compromission in terms of performance and functionality. But all this drops under a big umbrella that has to do with all the considerations about AI development and adoption, that has to do with privacy, security, fairness, inclusiveness, etc. I've recently heard, I think it was 2 days ago, that President Biden has released a framework on how every AI solution should be developed in the States in order to be aligned and some kind of tackle those considerations, and then have to be, let's say, close monitoring in order to move into production. Having said that, let's see some real use cases. I think the main idea of conversational AI applications drops under the tailor-made suggestions based on our preferences and our history with our interaction with the system. I would like to mention the retail case, where we can see that we can have a conversational AI system that could give us, of course, a recommendation about what to buy, when to buy, based on a promotion, based on our purchase history. I think fashion, food, and entertainment are generally well known. I think in the automotive industry, most of us, at least once, we have been exposed in the in-car virtual assistant, where we can adjust our volume. We can even call or text through our mobile device connection with this virtual assistant, or even we can adapt and set up our speed or speed limit at real time. And of course, in fitness and travel industry, it's the same process based on our preferences, but we can also enhance the experience by adding some extra elements, like here you can see adjust the recommendation based on our budget, based on our travel date preferences, availability, etc. What we can expect in the future, based on the current and future trends, we have I forgot to mention one great. Okay, I haven't put it in the presentation. I thought I had it in the presentation. I was trying to see what's there in the market in terms of conversational AI implementation, and I've seen that there's an application, it's in the demo at the moment, that provides you the option to discuss with a virtual friend that could be tailor-made in your needs. You can adjust, let's say, the avatar. You can adjust the topics that you want to discuss. If you are interested in traveling, in sports, in global environmental crisis, and discussing that topic with a virtual friend. And you can even adjust the aggressiveness of the virtual friend. If you want it to be smooth, if you want to be aggressive, if you want to be romantic, etc. This gives us great opportunities, great ideas how we can leverage this technology in the future. Having said that, we expect in the retail market to have in-store virtual assistants. It can be either a robot that could locate us to specific products located in the store, or even suggest us personalized promotion activities in order to generate higher basket. And another nice element is in the news media and education, where we can see that we can expect to open our TV and see a digital anchor that presents the news in a way that we want. It can focus in specific elements, in global economy, in history, in sports, in environment. It's up to us to decide how we're going to see the news in the future. And in terms of education, we can expect to see some virtual teachers that can adjust their teaching style based on personal students' unique learning curve and the knowledge gaps that they have, so they can adjust grade in their needs and provide the best outcome and the best value in terms of education. Finally, I would like to say about the public safety, where I think we're close enough to see AI-powered chatbots and virtual agents to support in real time, in case of emergency, the citizens, to provide them real-time routes for escape, safety tips, and evacuation routes. On the other hand, in the well-being, this is a good implementation that we can expect in the near future. We expect to have emotional AI agents to discuss with people that have mental issues that probably they won't prefer to discuss in personal life with a person, but they would prefer to discuss with a machine. And this could easily recognize specific mental issues and then could prioritize and provide appropriate intervention, referrals from a medical institution, from a relative, or what else. That's all. As a conclusion, the only thing that I would like to have in mind from this presentation is mainly to have the idea to put in place and in the heart of our business every AI implementation. Don't put it on the side and connect it somehow with our business goals and system modernization. Thank you very much.